Hello everybody, it is Shakira Renee and welcome back to my channel. As you can tell by the title, this video is going to be my January reading wrap up. I told you guys that if you're not new to my channel, I told you guys that I was going to start posting more of my reading content, so here we are. If you're here for my weekly vlogs and you're looking to get into reading, or you're already into reading, let's chat. If you are here just purely by coincidence and you enjoy reading, let's chat. So we're gonna hop into this, but before we do, I need you guys to go ahead and subscribe to this channel because you're gonna love it here, and turn on your post notifications so you don't miss a time that I post. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. I'm trying not to talk in my hands so much. Alright, so first things first, I need you guys to grab your drink of choice. Usually we would do wine, but your girl, if you can't tell by my voice, I'm coming down with a little cold, so we're gonna do water. But yeah, grab your drink of choice and let's sit back, let's relax, and let's chat. So in the month of January, I successfully completed 5 books. So we're going to get into them. We're going to talk about my overall rating for them, the different tropes, a mini synopsis, what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it, writing styles, all that. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. Let me take a sip of my water. Okay. So we're going to get into the books that I didn't enjoy so much first before we get into the ones that I did. So out of the 5 books that I read, there was 2 that were like so-so, and the other 3 I loved. So I should preface this video by saying all of these books are romance books because I'm a romance girl, and so far those are the only books that I've been reading. I think I have 1 book on my shelf right now that is like on the verge of like romantic fantasy that I'm gonna probably read this month in February, but we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about what I read in January. So without further ado, let me quit all that yapping and talking, and we're just gonna go ahead and get into it. So the first book that I would like to talk about is called Loving the Wrong Man by Mia Black. I received this book as a Christmas gift, and it's a very short book. It is 105 pages. I finished this in like a day. I rated this a 3, I believe. So it was giving me kind of like a published Wattpad book. If you guys don't know what Wattpad is, I have talked about that on my channel a couple times. Wattpad is for authors who aren't officially published. I read it all throughout high school. You can go on there, you can write your own story, read other people's story, all that type of stuff. Not sponsored, because they be trying to charge you now to read some stuff. Not sponsored. But yeah, no. So this was about, honestly, y'all, you know when you read so many books that everything is just kind of like a blur? That is me. But this book is about a young lady who, she was in a toxic relationship with her boyfriend, left her boyfriend, moved to a new city. I don't want to give out too much. Moved to a new city and discovers a new relationship. But the man that she is now seeing is hiding a big secret from her. The gag is, this was only part 1. I looked it up, there's 6 parts to this book. But it did not entice me enough to get the second book. So what happens in this, I don't know. I don't know how, I will never know how it ends because I don't want to read the rest. Writing style, like I said, gave me very much published Wattpad book. I just think that it was a little too fast paced for me. It was like do. Like I don't feel like the pace was even enough. It was just like one after another, something happened, and I'm just like, hold on, I can't keep up, you know. So if you like that kind of stuff, check this out. But yeah, what tropes were there in this book? There wasn't really any like main, like, I guess like I will call this, I mean, I don't think it's listed as it, but I would call this an urban fiction book for sure. Yeah. Not really much I can say about this book. I didn't really enjoy it. I gave it a 3. Like it was a fast and quick read, but would I read it again? Probably not. And will I read the other books in the series? Alright, now on to the next book that wasn't really my favorite this month. And I might get a lot of backlash for, well, okay, maybe not a lot of backlash because let's be for real, Shakira, nobody watch these videos. But do not come for me with this book because I know everyone loves this author and I love this author too, but I just could not get with this book. Like the first book that I read by her, Chef's Kiss, I loved it. I mentioned it in my top 5 of 2022. I will leave that link down below. I mentioned it in there. I love that book. So I'm like, okay, let's go read more books by this author, right? So I went and I ordered, not picked up, I ordered The Perfect Find by Tia Williams. You guys, I tried so hard not to DNF this book. So many times. It took me like a week to finish this book. And usually only takes me 3 days tops to finish a book, especially a good one. It took me a week, maybe even a week and a half to finish this book. I try not to DNF it so many times. Overall rating, I gave it maybe like a 3.2 to a 3.5, something around there, because I just couldn't get with it. So, short synopsis without giving you guys too much information in case you want to read it. So there's a lady, what is her name? Y'all, I think her name is Jenna. So Jenna, she goes through this divorce. Well, not even a divorce. She goes through this breakup, starts a new job, and she meets a man who is younger than her. I will not tell you the age gap, but I just could not get with the age gap. I couldn't be okay with the age gap. And basically it's just like their obstacles as a couple, and her wanting what she wants out of life and then him wanting what he wants out of life. And the ending, you guys, pissed me off. Excuse my language. Pissed me off so bad. Like, the ending was just super duper crazy. I'm actually gonna, I have to talk about this. So if you are gonna read this book, skip to this. I will leave the time frame where you can skip to. But you guys, she had his baby and did not tell him for how many years? Like, be so for real. Be so for real. And what was the age gap? Like 20 something years? Like literally her boss was his mother. I couldn't get over it. I forced myself to read it. I couldn't get over it. The spicy scenes in there were very awkward for me because I'm like, bro, what? Very awkward because it's like, I know books aren't supposed to reflect reality, but like I just could not get down with this. I just couldn't get down with it. I couldn't. So 3.2 was my overall rating. Writing style, I love her writing style. Like I said, I love 7 Days in June, one of the best books I read last year. This book, writing style, pretty good. I think she actually wrote this book before 7 Days in June, but I just couldn't couldn't get down with this. I just couldn't do it. Tropes, let's see what tropes are. It's not like an enemies to lover. It's like there's definitely an age gap, and then not really a pregnancy trope, but kind of a pregnancy trope towards the end. But yeah, overall rating 3.2. 3.2 to 3.5. Wasn't the biggest fan. Will I read it again? Probably not. Will I try some of her other work? Yes, because I love Blossom. Alright, and then the next book I read, you guys, I gave it I think like a 4.6 stars. I actually really, really loved this book. This was one of my book I got from Book Talk. Actually, funny thing about this book. First is Twisted Love by Anna Huang. I believe I'm pronouncing her name right. But funny thing, I had seen this book all over Book Talk, and at the time I'm like, I'm not about to buy any new books. I have so many books on my to be read. I'm not gonna buy it. I'm not gonna buy it. I'm not gonna buy it. I went to work, and one of my patients was reading this book, and I'm like, okay, I gotta know. Like, I'm asking her, like, well, like, tell me how it is. Like, do I need to go pick it up? Like, she's like, I'm just gonna let you know now to get it. I'm probably gonna order the rest while I'm here. I'm like, so needless to say, I ordered it the same night that I was at work. And when I tell you guys, I love this book. Rated it 4.5, 4.5, 4.6, something like that. Sorry, excuse me. So, tropes. I know this video kind of all over the place. Rated 4.5 to 4.6. Tropes, you got your billionaire, like it's like a billionaire trope, forced proximity. Let's see what else. We got the whole best friend's brother type thing. Mini synopsis. So, what the hell was her name? Y'all, I be forgetting their names because I read so much. Ava and Alex, they're the main characters. Alex is basically forced to watch over, not forced, but Alex is forced to watch over Ava once Ava's brother goes off on a trip for his not residency, but he goes off to a trip for some school-related stuff. So Alex volunteers actually to watch over Ava. They spend a lot of time together. They get close. Next thing you know, they're in love. And kind of amazing. It throws a couple other things like in there too, like kind of like a murder mystery. There's kind of like a lot of stuff happening in this book. It's kind of like a murder mystery. It was very much so like one thing after another, but it kept you entertained, and it kept you wanting to read more, unlike that first book I told you all about. It was one thing after another, but it all kind of flowed well. It is a little, if you don't like multiple situations happening at one time, maybe it's not going to be the right pick for you, but I loved it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much that I went and picked up the other 3 books in the series, and I'm putting one of them on my February to be our read list. So, absolutely loved it. The spice, I would give it, do I remember the spicy scenes from this book? Kind of. I will give the spice maybe like a 4. It wasn't too bad. Spice a 4. Overall rating 4.6. Told you guys about the tropes. Writing style gave me a little bit of, not beginner, but not expert, more like, I guess that would be what, mediocre. I have heard that the rest of the books, her writing has gotten significantly better. Significantly better. So I am excited to dive into those books and see what the hype is about. Not what, because I know it's going to be hype. I understand what the hype is about. But I'm excited to dive in and see how her writing improves. And I think that's like completely off topic. I'm sorry. That's like one of my favorite things as someone who likes to read and even like write occasionally sometimes myself, it's like seeing how much an author can grow. And it's just one of my favorite things. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into our third book. Alright. Third book is While We Were Dating by Jasmine Guillory. I love this book. I gave this 4.8 stars. I read another book by her. It's called By the Book. I read that last year, which prompted me to pick up another book by her. This book, main characters are, let's see if I can remember the names because I literally just finished this like maybe 4 days ago. Main characters are Ben and Anna. There we go. Ben and Anna. So Anna, she's a famous movie star. Ben, he's a marketing agent. They are working together on a project, and they go and take a road trip, unexpected road trip, which just leads to multiple things. And yeah, it kind of gives you a fake dating trope in there. Some, I can't remember if there was, I feel like all books have trauma in it that people have to work through. So some trauma. It deals with some mental health issues. The fake dating trope, like I said. Writing, magnificent. I love her writing. It was a romantic comedy. And some romantic comedies, I'd be like, this is not funny. But I did find myself laughing at a couple of the lines in this book. So it is a romantic comedy. The comedy, I will give a 3. Just because I just sometimes don't find stuff that funny. But yeah. What else about this book? Spice. So 4.5. Not a 4.5. More like a 4.3 for Spice. 4.3 for Spice. But overall, I gave this, what, a 4.8. It was really cute. This was a super duper cute book all around. It did take me a while to read this just because I didn't pick it up for like maybe a week or so because I was on vacation. But if I didn't go on vacation, it probably would have been done within like 3-4 days. Super duper good book. Really enjoyed it. I would suggest you guys check it out. And now last but not least, y'all, my favorite book of the month. I actually started this on January 30th, and I'm like, am I even gonna put it in my January reading wrap up? But I finished it today at like 6 a.m. because I work midnight, so I was up and I was reading. And I'm like, whatever. I started in January. It's only February 1st. We're gonna put it in the January reading wrap up. I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars. This is becoming one of my favorite authors, y'all. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Okay. Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan. I love her. Anything she writes. Sorry. Anything she writes, I'm gonna read it. And this is only my second book by her. But I loved it. 5 out of 5 stars. It just... I cried at this book. I was in literal tears with this book. Cried my little heart out. I will say, before you read this, definitely check your trigger warnings. It does deal with domestic violence and rape in pretty graphic detail. So I'm just gonna tell you guys that now, just in case you want to pick up this book, but you know, trigger warnings. So it does deal with those in pretty great detail. But like the storyline, the plot, it was just all there. I have learned that I'm starting to, well, I've only read 2 of her books, so I don't know. But so far, I'm thinking that she's a very slow burn writer, which it's fine, because I've learned that that is what keeps me on the edge of my seat, like waiting for the moment that we all know is coming, but it takes forever to come. Like, it's gonna keep me turning the page, Whew, my nose. So yeah, writing 5 out of 5, plot 5 out of 5, spice 4.5 out of 5. It wasn't too much. Yeah, so a little synopsis. Okay, so the main characters, Iris, August, and then we'll just throw Caleb in there as the main character, and Lotus. Iris, they all go to college together except for Lotus. They all go to they don't all go to the same college. August goes to a different school. Lotus goes to a different school. Iris and Caleb go to the same school. They are in a relationship at the beginning. They are in a relationship for majority of the book. Iris and August have this attraction and pull to each other that cannot be denied, but because of different circumstances, they cannot be together. So it's kind of like giving you a forbidden romance, which honestly, that's probably one of my favorite tropes. Forbidden romance and forced proximity. We locked in like this. But yeah. So what was I saying? Girl. Forbidden romance. The ending was beautiful. It took a while to build up to the ending, and when the ending finally came, I cried like a baby, because it just felt like this is one of those books. This is one of those books where it's like you are walking hand in hand with the main character, who is Iris, and you are experiencing everything they're experiencing. Okay, well, you can, like, you feel sympathy or empathy for this main character, even though you know it's fictional. But like, what I like about this author is she writes about real stuff that happens in the real world. Like, her characters are not like real, but she draws from people's real life experiences. But she'll tell you she draws from people's real life experiences, and it just kind of connects to reality a little bit more. So it just made you feel for everyone who has to deal with something like what Iris was going through, and the ending was just so beautiful, because you know, like, how far she came, y'all. I was crying. I was in tears at 6 a.m. this morning. But it was such a beautiful story. Such a beautiful story. So overall, 5 out of 5. This is my top rated book of the month. I definitely would suggest you check it out. But remember, trigger warnings. The two big ones are domestic violence and rape. So just keep that in mind. I will leave all these books linked down below. Probably an Amazon link. I got most of these, if not all of them, from Amazon, actually, except for the first book I showed you guys I got as a birthday gift. I mean, a Christmas gift, but I'm pretty sure I can find a link on Amazon for it. So I'll link them all down below. None of it is sponsored. None of it is affiliate links. You can go ahead, click, if you're interested, click the link. Nothing will happen. Like, I don't get anything from it. It's just me simply putting y'all on to some good romance books. So yeah, that is it for my January wrap up. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have read any of these books, comment down below. Let's do a little chit chat about it. If you are interested in reading any of the books, let me know what you're interested in reading in. Make sure you check the description box for all the links in case you are interested in reading the books. Leave this video with a like. Don't forget to subscribe. And I will see you guys next month for our February, well, the end of this month for our February wrap up. Bye.